Greetings YouTube and welcome to the Dragoon's Den. Today I have for you guys a deck profile, and it's going to be something a little more fun, and that will be Rabbit Gladiator Beasts with Test Tiger and Prisma. What does this deck do? Well, it's pretty much as it is. It's Tiger Glads, but it's also got Rabbit, because if you go Rabbit with Test Tiger in your hand, it's a ridiculously end field. You pop 3 cards, and then you swing with the Gladiator, and then, yeah, it's dumb. Now, as far as like Glad Beasts go, I would say though that Tigerless Glads are more consistent, but this format is just really quick, and Hero-less Glads I think are like the only ones that are remotely capable of keeping up. Much to my dismay, this deck just hasn't really been doing a whole lot for like the last while. There's like been a regional top here and there, a YCS top, but Glads have been largely irrelevant, and it's kind of sad to see that. The power creep has just become so blatant that old school decks like Glads are having trouble keeping up. But it does make it all the more better when you whip out an old school deck like this, and you whip some ass, and you have people who just don't know what they do, and the whole concept of tagging is like really foreign to them. So, yeah. I took this to locals, I got second place, I thrashed just about everyone except for Chaos Dragons because Chaos Dragons sack, so turn 1 Heavy Storm, turn 1 Dark Hole in the same game, and yeah, I have still 2 Starlight Road, I didn't open them, and I know I should not have set 3 because of Storm, but what were the chances of opening with Heavy Storm? Well, unfortunately, I got the wrong end of that. And I did win game 2 because of Dimensional Fissure, but I lost game 3 because, again, things just did not go my way. Otherwise, so, yeah. Raffle stomped Dark World, surprisingly. And what else did I face? Actually, well, I didn't face this at the tournament, but I did play test against the Atlanteans without siding, and I actually did very well. I won more games than I lost. And that was rather good to know. So yeah, we'll go over this deck list, and for all you guys out there who have to play Gladiator Beasts, share some of your thoughts on Glads, why you like them, such forth and such forth. There is a question in this video I'm going to ask, and we'll get to that in a bit. But first, for the Glad lineup, 2 Laquari. Now, I'll explain the concept of Glads right now for the people who may not know. When Glads attack or are attacked, if they survive the battle, at the end of the battle phase, you return them to the deck to special summon another Gladiator Beast. A Glad Beast summoned by the effect of another one gets an effect. This is referred to as tagging. Laquari becomes a 2100 beat stick when he's tagged in. Darius revives Glads from the graveyard. He's used to set up tag-ins, like into contact fusions typically. He's used to set up contact fusions into Gazeris, Heraclinos, Bestiari. He's also used to make rank 4s, because you can just summon Laquari with these 2, and then you can go into a rank 4. The fact that Darius into Laquari can make, what's his name? Tiger King of the Fire Fist, who is that walking skill drain for everything but Beast Warriors. That's pretty neat. And the fact that this deck can actually make use of the upcoming Fire Dance Tanky. Could we be seeing a new Gladiator Beast deck after Cosmo Blazer? I don't know, but I would certainly like to try that. Then you've got 1 at quest to recycle War Chariots, Darius, and Laquari, anything that gets hit by removal. And then 1 copy of Bestiari, because that's all you're allowed to run. Now, here is my question. Could this go to 2 and not break the format? One of the fake ban lists that got posted a while ago was Bestiari 2, and not many people really got up in arms over it. It makes me wonder, has the game become so fast that 2 Bestiaris and Gladiator Beasts won't do anything? Honestly, I would like to see this get semi-limited in March, but that's just me talking. Agree? Disagree? Tell me in the comments below. Rounding up the Glads, we got our Bestiari, because removing things like Dark World monsters and other important key pieces in the graveyard, that's pretty good. You've also got Mermilla to pop monsters. And then I'm also playtesting 1 Sam Knight right now. My reasoning behind him is very much like the reasoning people running cards like Drakwaiba. There are a lot of small monsters in this format, so if you can get Sam Knight in off of a tag and start beating over things, you get to tutor out War Chariots, you can tutor out Bestiari to your hand. If this gets on the field and you're able to keep going with him, you're just going to keep getting cards and cards and cards. Now, admittedly, there's also Sekitor, but I like the fact that this guy's a 1600, whereas Sekitor pretty much requires you to have prison on the field in order to actually live through a fight. The other thing of note is these three guys are all level 3, so you can, if you go into Gazeris and you go, say, Murmillo and Rediari to pop a monster and to remove a guy, you can overlay these two into a Zenmaines. You can go into a Levier to get back any monster you removed off of Rediari. It does prevent you from tagging those guys back into the deck, and you kind of have to like get them back to your hand with a quest, but that is that. Then we got the 3 Test Tigers. You pop this guy to return a GB monster into the deck and then tag in a GB out of the deck. Prisma, you use him to put Bestiari into the grave with his effect. He becomes Bestiari, so you can summon Test Tiger, pop Test Tiger, put Prisma into the deck, get Darius, special summon Bestiari, go into Gazeris, Prisma Glads, that's what I do. Then for the Rabbit engine, 3 copies of Gladiator Beast Andal. He's a 1900 vanilla, so he can go toe-to-toe with T-King and like other stuff. And you can always just put him into the deck for a tag. You know, so you say you open with this and you got a Bestiari in your hand. You can just summon this, set back row. He does make War Chariot live. You can summon Bestiari, or rather set Bestiari, put them back into the deck, and then you can summon a Gazeris, pop 2, and the dead Rescue Rabbit, no longer dead. And you got the 2 rabbits to summon the Andals. Again, rabbit plus tiger in the same hand equals much stupidity. Then for the spells and traps, you got your 3 copies of Gladiator Beast Proving Ground, or Gladiator Proving Ground, my bad. It's a Rhoda for Gladiator Beasts. It's pretty good. I also found myself setting this a lot as a bluff because it's one thing to go Laquari plus 2 face downs, but Laquari plus 3 or 4, they think you have the Road or the Solemn or something else to protect your stuff, so they're more hesitant to try and like pick around your stuff. And if they Typhoon a Proving Ground that you don't need, and hey, that's one Typhoon that does not hit your War Chariot or your Bottomless, etc., etc. Then for the limited cards, book, because you don't care if they have a monster with a high defense. If you summon a Trag, I'll book it and attack it so I can go into Murmillo and pop it. I don't care about the damage. I took like 900 or even 1,000 damage once because my opponent dropped a Gorz or something, and I just rammed it anyway and tagged out and popped stuff. So yeah, Zenmaines, Gotchi. Glads laugh at those cards. You summon a Zenmaines, I'll just summon Laquari, attack into it, go into Bestiari, pop your backer, or whatever. Then Darkhold to clear your field. Monster Reborn, Reinforcement of the Army, and a Hero Lives. Rhoda is used to search out Prisma. A Hero Lives is also used to bring out Prisma. You only use this if you've got the Tiger in your hand and really you have no other choice. Lives can win you games. The life point cost is steep though, and I don't think I really would play more than 1 in this particular build. If I did not run Rabbit, then I would be more inclined to. Then for the traps, I am running 2 copies of Bottomless Trap Hole, 2 copies of Compulsory Evacuation Device, double Prison, double Chariot. Prisma Glads don't really need the 3 Chariot, whereas this can just use the 2 because you can juggle it. Yeah, you're more or less going to be popping stuff more than negating, but still, War Chariot is nice to have. Then 2 copies of Mirror Force, 2 copies of Starlight Road, 2 copies of Warning, and 1 copy of Judgment. So the trap lineup is what you would expect out of Glads. Lots and lots and lots of traps. Then rounding out, we've got the extra deck. I've got 2 copies of the best card, Gladiator Beast Gizaris. It's a contact fusion between Bestiari and a Gladiator Beast. Now the thing about contact fusion is you don't have to have all parties involved face up on the field. If you have like a Laquari face up and you have, say, where is he, Bestiari, you can just set the Bestiari and then you reveal Bestiari and then you put them back into your deck for contact fusion. So why do Glad Beasts set the monster? So they don't trigger Bottomless Trap Hole and lose Bestiari. And you can't turn to tribute a set monster, no matter how many times you think you can on Dueling Network. No, that's not how it works. Anyway, yeah, when this guy is special summoned, you pop 2 cards. And then when he battles at the end of the battle phase, he goes back into the extra deck and you summon the 2 monsters except Bestiari. Yeah, if you get more than 1 of these effects off in a duel, you're probably going to win, or you're in so far ahead of your opponent advantage, it's just crazy. This card can be easily summoned thanks to a Hero Lives and Test Tiger. Test Tiger is how you can really bring this guy out. Otherwise, you're just going to be like slow summoning it. Turn 1 Laquari, set summon. Your opponent sets some more back row. You're Proving Grounds in the Bestiari. You set the Bestiari and do stuff. 1 copy of Heraclinos. He is Laquari plus 2 more Gladiator Beasts. Once on the field, you can discard a card from your hand and negate the activation of a spell and trap and destroy. 3,000 negates spells and traps, including quick plays and stuff in the damage step. Yeah, that's pretty good. Then 1 copy of Bestiari, he's just 2 any 2 glads. You can just go rabbit into 2 Andals, attack with them, and then during main phase 2, put them into the deck to summon this guy. That's how you can get away with running 2 rabbits with only 3 vanillas, because you put them back into the deck almost all the time. Then 2 copies of Stardust Dragon, because I am running Starlight Road. Abyss Dweller for Mermaid Atlanteans and Dark Worlds and such forth. I know it's kind of like an card. 1700 attack is pretty bad, but you are running Prison, Evac, Bottomless, Mirror Force, so you can protect this thing. 1 Gaga Cowboy to get over big cards and to burn for game. Maestro stalls out for a little bit. Roach, he is very good for negating big monsters, especially since this side decks Dimensional Fissure, so you can make this if Thunder King is not an option. Shockmaster, it is quite possible to put 3 level 4s on the field. It's situational, but hey, being able to just plunk this guy down, call traps or call spells or call monster effects, yeah, he's cold wig on legs that honestly should be banned. 1 copy of Utopia, 1 copy of Black Ship of Corn, and then for the rank 3s, Levier and Wind Up Zenmates. And lastly, I'll also show you what my current side is, because I did take this to locals. I do admit that it's kind of like tailored towards beating stuff like Dark World and Inzectors, because those are the most played decks out there that really give me trouble. You guys know I don't like Dark World, so I kind of tend to side heavily for it, like 12 cards. That's because I found myself siding out my Prismas and my Rabbits and my Andals, and Hero Lives as a result, which meant Rhoda had to go too, and as a result, I found myself siding out like almost 10 cards each game, so I just sided in 10 cards. Rather convenient that, but yeah. First up for my side, I've got Soul Takers to kill things like Pulsar Dragon, Ryo, etc., etc. Then MST in order to hit things like Gates of the Dark World, Royal Decree, because people think that you can just flip up Decree against Glads and they have apparently no answer to it. MST is a card, Bestiari is a card, Gizzers is a card. There are ways to clear Decree in this deck. I admit there will be those times where you can't immediately get to those outs, but there are times where you'll draw your side and your opponent doesn't, and they'll draw their side and you don't. So, yeah. But needless to say, this deck does not completely die to Decree. It has outs to it. I would be foolish to think that people would not side Decree in on me. Then also, Gemini Imps again, Dark World Hate. Snowman Eater, I had 1 slot left in my extra deck, and it was either go to 3 Dimensional Fissure or put this guy in for things like Dino Rabbits and stuff. 2 copies of Fissure, because Macro can't really be used. I mean, I could use Macro, but that means shutting myself off from recycling War Chariots. But yeah, this is just used to prevent things like hand traps, and also it's used to stop decks like Mermaid Atlanteans and Chaos. And running out 2 copies of Shadow Mirror, because again, Inzectors and Dark World. And that is pretty much it. So you got this guy, you've got, where the heck did he go? Yes, you've got this guy, and then you've also got this guy. So yeah, this is pretty much the idea of the deck. Again, this guy did too. What do you think? I hope you guys enjoyed this version of Gladiator Beasts. As I might have mentioned already, standard Glads without the bullshit of this stuff or even this stuff are probably more better as far as consistency goes, but in terms of speed, this is definitely quite quick compared to other Glad builds. So yeah, feel free to play around with this if you want. It's definitely not a finalized build. I just figured, you know what, I have the cards on me, I might also just build this and see how it works, and I kind of like what it did. When it goes off amazingly, oh boy, it goes off really, really well, because this is what you would do here. I'll show you guys the best play that I can think of right off the bat. You do this. So you remove him, and then you get your 2 Andals. Then again, you special summon this. You pop this off to put this into the deck to special summon this. You pop 2 cards. Then you go into Gizzerus, pop 2 more cards, then you attack with Gizzerus, and then after that you'll put this back into the deck, and then you'll get something like this. And quite possibly, if you're reading a deck that like plays small monsters, you can summon this, and now you have a 2100 beater, And you have a guy that if it runs over a monster, you'll get a War Chariot out of the deck or something else out of your deck. And if you've got a War Chariot or Road or Mirror Force down, you can protect these guys and you can just play the grind game that Gladiator Beasts are exceptionally good at. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay frosty.